I wanted to talk about unconditional love and how it helps us heal and what it is and how the divine orchestrates examples of it in order for us to see it in ourselves. Yeah? So unconditional love, which is the point of this existence. Is it not? Is it not the point of this existence to learn how to love unconditionally, without conditions, based off no thing? Right? Isn't that how God loves us? Isn't that how this all started? So every opportunity is a step in that direction, a lesson in learning how to open our heart all the way down this path of loving into this unconditional space. You know, and that's why we have children in our lives. That's why we have children in our lives. Because when you look at a child, you can't help but love that child no matter what. No matter what. And this is God's way of showing us, here's like a auto mechanism that triggers on in this world, in this reality, in the 3D, that you can use as an example to get closer to where you're trying to go. And if you think about holding space for people or being there for somebody, what is the way to do that? Right? It's under the umbrella of unconditional love. And we grow up thinking that, okay, let me hold space, or what's going on, right? And then what do we do? What do we do when someone tells us what's going on or what they're dealing with? We automatically, subconsciously filter it, and it goes through our brain and our mind and our programming and our blockages and our trauma. And then we offer advice based off of what we went through. So what turns out to be a helping conversation turns into a selfish one. And this is not done on purpose. This is just how we operate, right? So it's never truly helpful. There's a time and place to give advice when someone's going through something, or tell them, oh yes, I've been through this. This is what I did. This is what you should do, right? Truly, what holding space is equal to what unconditional love should be, which is just loving them where they are. Loving them where they are. And this is the practice that we get in our lives in all of these reflections. All of these reflections, all of these experiences, all of these relationships are another way of the divine showing us how to love unconditionally, how to practice the art of loving unconditionally, which ultimately needs to be turned back on ourselves. Don't you see how this works? It all comes back to that. The children, the relationships, the experiences that we have are all showing us how and why and where and when and all of the things, and how we can love ourselves unconditionally. How we can love ourselves unconditionally. Isn't that what healing is? Truly? Can't it just be broken down into that? But the issue is, we think healing means there's some sort of medicine or thing or advice or something we need to do and figure out. It's the same way we're holding space for somebody and we think we need to tell them what our experience is or what we think they should do. But in reality, all they want is just for us to be there for them, to hold space for them so that they could experience what they're experiencing and be loved for it in every single way. So now take this as a reflection back to ourselves and how we heal. Can healing just be defined as loving ourselves exactly where we are and not trying to change it? Just accepting these feelings, whatever they are, with love and embrace, and not saying, oh, I feel this stems from this trauma, I have to figure this out. Okay, that's not a good part of me. Why do I do that? That's not very loving. So can healing just be defined as loving ourselves unconditionally in the moment? And do we not get this practice from children? Do we not get this practice from our other relationships that we have in our life? Because every single thing truly is a mirror, and everything is a reflection, and everything, as I said to start, is a stepping stone on how to love unconditionally. And if we could love ourselves unconditionally, then we could love everything else unconditionally. So everything is just bing, 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 showing us how to do that. When I first started on the healing path, it was about fixing. The paradox is there's nothing wrong with us. The whole healing path is an illusion based off of perspective of certain trauma that we experience as a child. We are already whole. So everything is just the path coming back to where we already started. Can we love ourselves unconditionally? Instead of, I need to fix this is not right about me, I need to go here, I need to do this. This is okay. This is okay. This part of the healing, this process, this loving, this is just who I am right now. Bring it closer. Bring it closer. The art of letting go equals bringing closer. This is another paradox. In order to understand something and release it, we must bring it closer so we can learn more about the attachment that we have to it, so that we can love it more. Because what we resist persists. So healing is just loving unconditionally. And isn't that a bit of a relief? Isn't that a bit of relief that if you're going through it right now, that there's literally nothing else you need to do but just sit with yourself and love yourself? And then when you get confusing feelings of that and you're like, this is not right, then just love that version, right? Imagine it was a kid. Think of a child in your life, a nephew, a son, a daughter, whomever. If they came to you and they were confused and they were in fear and they were at anxiety, you would put your arms around them and you'd love them exactly where they are, and you would say things in your mind like, child, it's okay. Child, you just don't know yet, right? You're learning. This is God's embrace for us. We are already whole. So every single step on this journey is a lesson into how to love unconditionally. And we get the practice in all different places, but ultimately it's a reflection that comes back to us. And how can we love ourselves in all of our shadow and all of our darkness right now, right here? Because that's what healing is. Because there's actually nothing wrong with us. Don't you see how this works? That's the paradox. It's to love ourselves unconditionally right now because there's nothing wrong with us. What we think is wrong with us is the illusion. That's why this is the answer. Something that helps me when I'm working on, wow, okay, I have this shadow, I have this darkness, I have these feelings of confusion and fear and anxiety and less than, I'm not good enough, and shame and guilt. And I say, okay, I need to love this feeling, right? Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for telling me I need to love this feeling. But how do I do that? How do I do that? So mind plays many tricks. This is something that's helped me. We're constantly trying to get out of a feeling, right? We feel it doesn't feel good. We say, I don't want this, I need to feel better. This is the scam of the world. My whole entire existence pre-awakening was about getting away from the way I felt. My whole entire existence post-awakening is getting closer to the way I felt. Someone tweet that out. I'm not going to remember it. It's about not escaping. It's about getting closer to these feelings, right? So when they come on and we say, okay, I need to love you, I want to love you, whatever. But then what happens? It doesn't feel good. And we say, I don't want to do this. What can I eat? What can I drink? Where can I go? How can I feel differently, right? So I say this to myself. What if I felt like this forever? What if this feeling that I had right now lasted forever? And right away, the first thing I see is, oh, that sucks, right? That would suck, ugh. And then after that, it's a little less. It's like, okay, it's not that bad. This is just the version of me. And I have a little more love. And then when time goes on from that point, it's a little bit more like, okay, first of all, this feeling, this whole thing is really not that bad. If this was it, this was it. You really got to get there. This was the only feeling I could have. This was me for the rest of my life. All right. Now what am I going to do? This is who I am. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough, yeah? Come on. Come on. If this was the way I felt forever, that's okay. It's really not that bad. Try this. You'll feel as more as you sit with this idea that then you find this overwhelming love for this version, for not understanding that it's not that bad, because you're separating yourself from the feeling now. And you're able to see and you're able to say, I love you. I love you just the way you are. And you practice this and you practice this. And you see and you learn and you understand now how to do this with other people and other things and other experiences, and how every single thing that God gives us is an opportunity to be in loving relationship with it in an unconditional way. And this is the whole answer to life. You're opening your heart, you're connecting to your soul purpose and divine plan. How can I be in more loving relationship with this? Because conditions are of the mind. Conditions are of the mind. I love you because this, because that happened. Why, this, that, when, where. This is all of the mind. The heart doesn't see that. The heart doesn't see that. How can I be in more loving relationship with this experience, with this person, and remembering that it's all a reflection back to you. And if you could heal it in yourself, then you could see it in somebody else. Love to y'all. I love you. I love you.